Uche steps in for the tip. And Syracuse controls early, but the ball out of bounds, so Wagner takes over. Maybe not an ideal start, but it'll be inbounded by Maria Doreste. Get you a look at the Wagner starting five for this game. Of course, not headlined by Liera Doyensola Modeseo. Varela has it near side. KJ Foz streaks to the bucket and starts the scoring. Wagner gets on the board for Syracuse. It's a similar look to what they've gone with all season. Sophie Burrows, the captain of this team, of course. She has it in the far corner. Zoja Uche, an important piece as well, establishing that paint presence, which is exactly what Wagner wants to limit Syracuse doing today, Adam.
Yeah, for Syracuse, the goal is to get it into the paint. You've got a lot of really good bigs. Uche Azoje was so good just a couple days ago against Canisius. So the goal is to get it into the post, but Wagner, you gotta limit the paint touches.
Fourth season for Felicia Leggett-Jack in charge of this squad. And there's a foul, and Phelia headed to the line. 3 starts in 3 games for Laila Phelia. Averaging double digits early on. She's picking up some boards as well. Came over from Texas, where she played only single-digit games last season. And she gets Syracuse on the board. And before that, spent 3 years at Michigan, where she was a very good shooter. 3-point percentage up over 40% in her final full season playing there.
Yeah, she wasn't a very good shooter. She was a really, really good shooter. 42% from 3, 16.8 a game. Those numbers are unmatched. That's why she was one of the best in the Big Ten.
And now she's trying to find her way with the orange early on. You heard Maggie talk about that adjustment that she's making to playing with a new group in the ACC, and Syracuse employs a full court press early. Sophie Burrows guards Doreste right now, and she's someone who's struggled to score early in the season. 3-ball coming in. Front rim, and it's going to stay with Wagner off the fingertips down low of Jasmine Cooper, the freshman who's getting her first start out of Northeastern Massachusetts. Played prep school her final year of high school, and Coach Jack told us she was going to get a chance to start this morning. The Massachusetts Class AAA Player of the Year last season.
Yeah, 48th ranked recruit in the country this year. She's not too shabby.
Inbounds it to Balde Kamara. Varela streaks to the cup, and it's knocked free, but it stays with Wagner again. So a little bit disruptive early for Syracuse, but Wagner maintaining possession of the ball.
Yeah, Cooper and Azoje got up there. Azoje's going to get credit with the block, and that's what she did so well during her time in Japan. She led the league in blocks.
And Dominique Darius, another new addition. Playing well in her first few games. She almost turns it over. Burrows near wing, pops one, can't go. The freshman Cooper regathers, back inside Uche. Off the glass, that one rolls in. Uche Azoje, who played professional basketball a little bit in Japan over the last few seasons. So a 21-year-old freshman. Phelia, nice dish inside. Darius can't finish the layup. Bounce pass and a turnover. Both teams struggling a little bit with turnovers in the first few minutes here.
It didn't go in, but great unselfish play from Syracuse running the break. A lot of people want to take that one-on-one all the way to the basket.
And Wagner travels. Hawa Balde Kamara getting her second start in 3 games played this season. From Barcelona, one of 13 players from outside the United States. And a foul called against KJ Foz. Syracuse gets to inbound it on the near side to restart play. Coach Terrell Coburn in his 5th season. 0-3 all-time against Syracuse is Wagner, and he's 0-1. Burrows streaks to the cup, has the ball knocked away, and no foul called, so it's back to Wagner basketball. It's some back and forth play here in the opening minutes without many points, Adam.
Very physical play inside. The refs seem to be letting them play a little bit early. We had that ticky-tacky foul in the backcourt just a second ago, but it's going to be a physical game.
3-0, 96 points against Canisius on Tuesday, but Coach Jack is not satisfied. This morning in morning shoot-around, she was being ultra aggressive in the way she was coaching her team, telling them they had to give her energy. A loose ball on the floor, another loose ball in the opening minutes, and Darius is fouled on the way down trying to corral it, so Syracuse gets the ball back from another inbound.
Yeah, Syracuse averages almost 13.5 steals a game. That's what they do so well. That's why they cause 28 turnovers a game, is they reach in, they have active hands.
Uche spins inside, off the high glass, no good. Burrows fights for it on the floor. And a jump ball called. The possession arrow favors Syracuse.
That was really, really good help side defense. You saw Zoje go into the paint with the right hand and spin back towards the middle of the paint. Wagner brought that help side defense that didn't allow her to get up a clean shot.
Darius pops a three, no good. Rebound snagged and a foul on the floor. So Cooper going up for the board. That's something in her limited playing time so far she's showcased pretty well. Also has started the season as an almost 86% field goal shooter, and with that combined with what she's done in practice, Coach Jack said, all right, it's time for you to start. She's going to the line for the Orange.
That's the second personal foul on Impondo, and that's going to be big for Wagner. She scored the first 5 points against NJIT. She's somebody that can knock down the three ball. If Wagner wants to stay in this one, you'd like to have her on the floor.
Impondo, senior forward who has re-announced herself this season, missed the last 2 years with lower body injuries. Back with the Seahawks, an academic senior, still 2 years of eligibility remaining, so she could stick around for a little bit longer if she wants to. Doreste brings it up the floor. And Syracuse all over in the midcourt, another jump ball. And Wagner has the possession arrow. Dominique Darius says, no, that should be our ball.
Yeah, that just wasn't a good decision by Doreste to pick it up just across the half-court line. The half-court line kind of acts like an out of bounds. You need to get further across the line before you pick it up.
Good defensive trap from the Orange in the half-court. A three from the far wing, goes long. Syracuse gets it and now runs in transition. Exactly what they said they were trying to do to win this one. Phelia collects on the near side. Darius slows it down up top. Dominique Darius, who played several years in California at USC and UCLA. Did not play last season. Phelia has a shot from outside, drives to the cup and has it poked away, but turned over again. Darius gets it back, strides inside, paint floater is good. Making it count. Both teams making mistakes, but Syracuse capitalizing a little bit more. The Orange have a 6-point lead. Fadeaway jumper's no good. Loose ball rebounded by Wagner. Burrows tips one away. So active defense early, Adam. More of what we've seen from Syracuse so far this season.
Yeah, active defense on both ends. Wagner averages 10 steals a game, and we saw that come out right there with the Laila Phelia drive. Wagner reaching in. They're not calling the reach in, so you might as well keep reaching.
Already 6 combined turnovers between the two teams. Olivia Landy spins inside, tries a layup off the glass, no chance. It falls out of bounds and Syracuse gets it back. The difference, Adam, though, Syracuse has 4 points off those turnovers. Wagner none so far. They scored just seconds into this game. Darius wide open down the lane, pops it and gets it to go. And an early timeout from Coach Coburn. Syracuse all over the Seahawks. Maybe exactly what you thought would happen. Wagner trying to get it together.
Hidden Level is the official airspace safety partner of Syracuse Athletics. Unlock your Hidden Level
you can make those, you'll have a pretty good day.
Spent several seasons at UCLA, and then 2 years ago played a season with the Trojans at USC. And after not playing last season, now in Syracuse on the other side of the country. Pretty big transition, but of course she's a Floridian. Played at Blair Academy in New Jersey, so she's really got all the country covered.
She does, and she said in the offseason she wanted a coach that would run through a wall for her. And she feels that Coach Leggett Jack would do that.
Foz has it on the far side, dishes inside, spin away floater is no good. Rebounded by Azoje. Laila Phelia, left-hand drive, finds a double team, tries to swing it out. And a foul in the process. Wagner basketball again.
Yeah, Laila went into the lane and she picked it up and she had no idea what she was gonna do with it. And that's what you have to be so careful of as a guard. Before you pick the ball up, you gotta know where you're going.
Shy Hawkins checks into the game for the first time. Averaging more than 8 points per game early in the season. She has really taken a jump in her sophomore season so far. Foz one-on-one with Darius. Wagner searching for that second field goal. They scored the first bucket of this game, now 0 for their last 9. There's another miss. Rebounded by Landy, and she loses it on the floor. Scramble for it, and a kicked ball. Gives it back to the Orange. So continued struggle scoring the basketball for Wagner.
That time it was the help side defense for Syracuse. Landy drove in. The help side defense of Azoje came right there to her. And now Wagner's starting to put on the press.
Still yet to see Doyensola Modeseor off the bench, the team's leading scorer. Averaging almost 12 points a game early in the year for Wagner. She suited up, took warm-ups in full, and a foul in the process. An illegal screen, and it's going back towards Wagner. So another turnover early on, and this has just continued to be a theme. Darius trying to get out of space, and
Azoje just wasn't set. When your guard is coming around the screen, you have to be completely set until they get around that screen. If it takes a little bit longer than you expect, sometimes you get those moving screen fouls.
A big body to run into as well. Azoje at 6'3". Far side, three-pointer, off back iron, no good. Burrows recollects and tries to push it in transition. Up to Darius. She collects, strides to the paint, free throw line Jay. Off back iron, stays away from the bucket. Wagner gets it back and runs with pace. This is not a game that they want to play though, Adam. You see Syracuse's defense suffocating in the midcourt.
No, they average 74 possessions per 40, which is on the slower side in women's college basketball. You hear that a lot more in men's. Alabama runs a pace somewhat similar to that. But Wagner wants to slow it down. They want to run a little bit more methodical offense.
Uche Azoje getting coached up from Coach Jack on her way back to the bench. Journey Thompson onto the floor. Shy Hawkins still out there. Darius around the screen, out to the top of the key. Swings it for Burrows, looking for a three. No good. And another whistle. Starting to get a little bit more strict maybe. And here is Doyensola Modeseor. 6'3" junior center, averaging 8 boards a game, more than 10 points. She was really noticeable in practice yesterday as well, just moving inside, looked very speedy. Some good hands, good paint presence, and maybe they like the matchup. Once you get Azoje off the floor, try and get her involved a little bit more and score some points. So Wagner searching for a run. 5 turnovers in the last 6.5 minutes for the Seahawks. And she traveled. First touch on the ball and an early mistake. And the miscommunications continue for Wagner.
Yeah, she picked it up and she drugged that back pivot foot. And that's going to get you every time. The ref was standing right on the baseline.
Angelica Velez swings over to Hawkins. Dishes back out for Phelia, takes a gather step. Charges in. Thompson. Mid-range 2 is good. Journey Thompson shooting better than 75% from the field her senior season. Played her first year with the Orange last year after transferring from Arizona State. Monteseo, no good. And she's off to a slow start, much to the chagrin of this Wagner bench. Burrows has it open on the right wing, charges inside. She's got her first points. Sophie Burrows, who has struggled to score early in the season, gets on the board for 2. To the cup, and there are the first points in more than 6 minutes. Maria Doreste adds on. She gets her first 2. Burrows another 3. Got it! Big lead for the Cuse developing, and Sophie Burrows doing what she knows she can do. That was almost a violation on the inbound.
Yeah, Doreste got caught tying her shoes, and
no one came back to help.
Yeah, Wagner wanted the ref to hold up on the 5 seconds, but the clock's running. You can't hold up on the 5 seconds.
Clea Casey just tried a 3-ball response. That's no good. It trickles out of bounds. Syracuse gets the basketball back. So a 13-point lead for the Cuse, all over Wagner. And maybe this is what you expected. Wagner has struggled early on in the season. Just 1 win. That was against SUNY New Paltz down near Poughkeepsie. Losses to Rutgers, and then most recently NJIT. Phelia pops a 3. Yes! Raining from downtown for the Orange. A 17-2 run. And the Orange are all over Wagner. 1 from Sophie Burrows, and then another one from Laila Phelia. Gets out, and there's the help with the screen from Burrows. Knocks it down. That's just a good shot.
Yeah, Coach Jack said this morning that when Laila Phelia comes off a screen, her light is green as money, and that shot was a green release.
Well, that was pretty perfect, and you look over the years, she has been a fantastic 3-point shooter with the Michigan Wolverines. Obviously a great program that's having a great season there. Better than 30%, and then in just 9 games with Texas, 20% 3-point shooter, but a small sample size last season. Missed a lot of the year with an eye injury, a detached retina. She's got those glasses on now, but pretty scary injury to come back from. There was a point where she thought she might lose her vision completely. Another travel from the Seahawks. The fact that she's back playing basketball this season, obviously, you've got to be so happy for her, but also just happy to see that she can still compete athletically at all. It's a great story. And she's returned to the court and equally as dominant as ever, it seems like.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to shoot with one eye, but now that she's back and she's fully healed, she seems to be playing pretty well.
Oh, Yindamola Akimbawala onto the floor, and she scores a bucket, her first points of the season. And the Auburn transfer out of Lagos, Nigeria. She's appeared in every game, but was yet to score. The 6'5" senior center. And Syracuse has just controlled the pace in this first quarter. Wagner has not had much of a whisper.
No, they haven't. They've been playing really well. They've caused turnovers, but they just can't convert on the offensive end.
One last shot at the buzzer, no good. And Syracuse up 18 in a first quarter that draws a round of French. He's still learning a little bit. I asked him if he downloaded Duolingo. He said, yeah, actually I did. So he's still trying to learn, do anything he can to be the best coach possible. Laila Phelia is easily the best shooter on the floor right now. Drills another mid-range to extend the Syracuse lead to 20. Well, the Orange going a 22-2 run. in that first quarter, and there's a response.
Great play by Wagner. Syracuse doubled the post. Wagner just runs a little flare screen off of it. That's the shot that's going to be there if Syracuse is going to focus on the post.
Varela drills the three-pointer, the first of the game for the Seahawks, kept in bounds by Akimbawala. Swung out to Hawkins, mid-range J for her is no good. So Syracuse entering today shooting just 19% from downtown. And so far today, 2 for 5, off to a much better start. That one rattles out. Akimbawala picks it up. Only 6 three-pointers had fallen entering the game all season. They only had 3 against Canisius. And then how about 2 in the first quarter?
Yeah, Syracuse is shooting extremely well from beyond the arc. That's something that Coach Jack really likes to see for her team.
Hard foul there against Velez. So she's headed back to the line, and Coach Jack just always has that intensity. That is one of the things that every single time you talk to her, you know what you're going to get. She has a plan for her team and how she wants them to play. Velez goes 1 for 1. 5 for 5 from the line as well. So far in this game for the Orange. Second one is off front rim, no good. And Adam's staring me down. That might be a little bit of a jinx.
I think that's on you. You can't say 5 for 5 while they're at the line.
So Reste brings it up the floor. Wagner trying to continue the scoring. They've already almost doubled their output from the first quarter. Swung inside, and they do.
What spectacular ball movement from Wagner. It went inside, it went outside, it went back inside. That's what you have to do to beat this Syracuse defense. You have to move the ball exactly like that.
Raneem El-Barki with her first points of the game. 6'1" forward from Egypt. Akimbawala snags one back, and she's fouled, plus the harm. Oyindamola Akimbawala goes up once and fighting through contact, rolls that second one off the rim. She's headed to the line for one more.
The defense on the initial shot from Wagner was good again. The Syracuse bigs are catching it on the block and spinning back inside into the paint, and you're seeing Wagner wall up, but you got to keep your hands straight up in the air. You can't play zombie defense.
Well, Wagner does not have a single player that's 6'5". It's pretty hard to match up with her, especially for these smaller teams. And Coach Coburn was very candid about that yesterday. He said, yeah, we just have to be more physical because they are bigger than us. A lot of these guards under 6 foot. Bouncer off the back end of the rim. On the floor, it's loose. And a jump ball. Possession arrow favors Wagner. So it's going to stay with the Seahawks here. Doreste to inbound.
Hey, watch the screen, kid.
Thank you.
Loops it up top to Mpondo. Cut inside, some more nice ball movement, it falls. Varela strikes back again. Burrows in transition, searching for an open body. Finds Camden Nelson, the freshman. Darius asks for a screen, charges inside, swings out Cooper, 3 ball. No good, rebounded by Burrows, spins away and gets the follow-up. That's what Sophie Burrows has done extra well this season, while her scoring output has been down a little bit. Has rebounded at the best clip of her career, almost 6 per game so far, but she's scoring tonight.
And it's the little things that keep you on the floor, like rebounding when you're not hitting your shots.
The freshman Nelson picks up the rebound. Burrows an open 3. Can't hit. grabs her own board, charges inside, back pass, Akimbawala. How about that? Burrows pins it in between her legs and then just touches one on to Akimbawala, who's having easily her best game of the young season. Foz swings it out. Defense crashing in. Off the glass, a floater no good. Darius runs it up the floor again, and Syracuse's athleticism starting to show. Nelson has an open look, backs up. Double team on Akimbawala inside, swings it back out Nelson, charges to the paint, pops one blocked. Knocked down by Foz. She streaks ahead. More good passing inside, but Varela can't hang on to it. And another Seahawks turnover. Aurora Alman onto the floor. First time that she's touched the floor so far this season. The sophomore transfer from Miami. Played 2 seasons there, but did miss one with a medical red shirt. So academically a junior, but playing in her athletic sophomore season. Another big body on the floor though, 6'4".
And that's I believe that's the second foul on Dominique Darius. So that's something to watch, is if this game gets close. Now, one of your best players has 2 fouls, and I don't know that coach is gonna pull her right away, but that'll be a storyline to watch the rest of the second quarter.
Mid-range Jay's no good. Freshman Nelson hustles onto the loose ball, kicks it ahead for Burrows. Syracuse has numbers going into the paint. Alman keeps it in, but no one behind her, and a turnover.
You have to know where you are. You gotta know how much space you have to come down with that ball.
And Darius picks up her 3rd foul. So she's off the floor.
That's her 3rd personal.
While Laila Phelia comes back on. Syracuse has been in foul trouble pretty consistently early in the season against these teams that they can easily outscore. You start to question what might happen against Michigan, potentially number 14 team in the country coming up in the near future. Cooper pokes one away. Syracuse continues to force turnovers. Burrows straight away to the rim. All day.
I think a lot of what's getting them in foul trouble is physical play like that. And they didn't call anything there, but you can't play too physical. Again, Sophie Burrows picks up a foul on the reach in. It's about knowing where the line is.
And it can be hard, especially when you're a team that's coming off a bit of a struggle of a season last year, 6-12 in the ACC for Syracuse, and your coach is telling you that the new identity is to play physical defense, trying to do that to the best of your ability early on, but still learning what the line might be at times.
And that's the 2nd foul on Sophie Burrows, so she now goes to the bench.
Looped ball inside, and it's picked off. Now the 11th turnover for Wagner early. Kara Scott, who subs onto the floor for Burrows.
Wagner's in a zone defense. Look for Syracuse to try and get it to the free throw line and then have somebody cut off of it.
And Scott is fouled from behind. Hard defense on their own accord as well. So Syracuse continues to dominate, another 6-0 run. And Wagner just trying to piece things together as we move through the first half.
But when you're as good as Sophie Burrows is, it's the intangibles that keep you on the court. She's got 3 rebounds tonight. She's got an assist. She has the highest plus-minus on the team right now at +21.
Also the obvious leader of this team. And similar to what Coach Jack did with Georgia Woolley after the departure of Deasia Fair 2 years ago, when she named Woolley kind of the leader of this team, she said this year, it's all about Sophie Burrows. Right at the end of last season, after Syracuse lost to Boston College in the ACC tournament, She did not mince words. Burrows is the leader for the squad for this season in her 3rd year with the Cuse. Casey knocks down a free throw. Clea Casey from Mississauga, Ontario. Transfer from Purdue Fort Wayne.
The Mastodons.
In her 2nd season with Wagner. The Connecticut Gatorade Player of the Year. Camden Nelson brings it up the floor. A phenomenal high school career at St. Luke's, one of the more prestigious prep schools in Western Connecticut.
Not great floor spacing for the Orange right now.
Phelia around a screen, drops a 2, it's good.
I guess when you have Laila Phelia and she can knock down those shots, it doesn't really matter.
She and Sophie Burrows going stride for stride so far with that scoring lead, both up to 9 points. Jab step from Ricard. Left wing feed inside, pump fake from Landy. She takes a couple of steps, throws one off the front rim, and some contact. Well, Cooper got to it first, and then she was body checked toward the baseline, so Syracuse hangs on to possession. And a foul going against Doyensola Modeseor.
Checking in for the Orange, number 17, Maddie Potts.
Maddie Potts onto the floor. She's appeared in all 3 games this season. Scott gets the inbound. Phelia from outside. Nelson sets up the offense.
Wagner into their matchup zone. It'll be the center of the court for the Orange that gets the ball inside.
Scott triple teamed. Swings out Nelson. She's looking for an outlet feed. Crossover in towards the paint. Plenty of contact. And that matchup zone forces a shot clock violation. So there you go, defense for Wagner starting to work. Shutting down the Cuse for one of the first times today.
Yeah, the reason you go to a matchup zone like that is when you're getting beat in the paint. And that's what's happened to Wagner, at least early, is Syracuse is throwing the ball inside and getting those easy layups. So you go to a 3-2 zone or a 2-3 to try and force Syracuse to shoot long balls.
Casey pirouettes toward the cup and scores. Clea Casey continues to be a threat on the inside. 35% shooter entering today. And she's now up to 4 points. Still in that zone for Wagner. Phelia cuts baseline, spins away, searches and finds Velez. Mid-range shot for her. No good. Orange grab the rebound. Scott a feed inside. Allman finishes it off. Aurora Allman, her first points in Orange. Appeared in 15 games with the Hurricanes a year ago. Maddie Potts collects a steal. Potts dishes off Velez. Bounce pass inside. Allman, almost. Searching for a second layup in as many tries. Can't finish it off, and the ball's out of bounds. Syracuse keeps it, though. So a couple of different faces onto the floor now. Allman some good spacing inside. Swung near corner, Phelia, mid-range J. She's fouled on the way up, and she'll go to the line for 2.
A lot of people call that a ticky-tack foul. It was a good, anytime you get inside the shooter's bubble, so to speak, they're gonna call it, and Wagner had a hand right on Laila Phelia.
Phelia historically a good 3-point shooter, good free throw shooter as well. Drills the first one. Justice Fitzgerald is out to the scorer's table as well. She checks in for Phelia. Fitzgerald, another freshman, So almost the whole bench unloaded onto the court in the first half for Syracuse. Only one freshman on the floor right now, but multiple have touched the floor. 3 misses everything from Casey. And then a foul on the way back in.
But to your point about Syracuse, when you're up 25 in the first half against Wagner, you kind of want to get everybody in. You want to get everybody reps, everybody playing time, so that down the stretch, if there's an injury or if Izzo Uche gets in foul trouble, you have the ability to play somebody who's played this year and played recently.
The senior Fernandez de Caella to the line, misses the first one. Well, when we talked to Coach Jack this morning, I talked about some of those runs that opponents have gone on early in half. She said, well, you know, one of the things is we're trying out different lineups, different rotations, trying to figure out what works for us for when we play those better opponents. And that is coming very soon. Velez off to the far corner. Dishes back inside. Fitzgerald's around the rim, no good. Recollects her own rebound. She's hounded from behind and fouled. And a little bit of extracurriculars after the whistle. Sola Motoseor was not letting go easily.
I think it's just frustration at this point. You can see she reaches around. You can't give her a hug, essentially, is what the foul was, but it's just frustration. I mean, you're down by 24 at this point. The shots aren't falling.
So Fitzgerald drills the first one. Syracuse in the bonus. From Roswell, Georgia, and has played every game so far this season. Her final 2 schools when she was choosing where to go to college this year, Syracuse and Georgetown.
That's not controversial at all.
The Orange on the men's side not playing the Hoyas for the first time in decades this season. Of course, Syracuse's greatest rival, Velez, strides down the lane, tries a pass to her left, and a bunch of collision. And a Wagner player shaken up underneath the basket. It's an offensive foul against Velez. And Casey taking the brunt of the contact there, and it was the secondary, it looked like, from Fernandez de Caella, who fell on top of Casey. That was what shook her up, but she's up to her feet pretty quickly.
But great defensive position from Casey, beating her to the spot, and then when the contact comes, falling backwards, taking the charge and getting the call.
Syracuse a better than 20-point lead as we approach halftime, and another defensive stop. Potts in transition with 30 seconds to go. Velez far side. Sets up a play. 1 second difference between shot clock and game clock. Potts, deep 3. No good. Syracuse gets a second chance. Shot clock dark. Scott misses it. It bounces around. Syracuse gathers again. 7 seconds in the half, and the ball out of bounds. A foul on the play, though, called by the trail official. Syracuse going to get another chance here to score some buckets from the free throw line. Maddie Potts. And she now gets a chance to get her first points of the season. First one rims out. You know, watching today in practice and in shoot-arounds throughout the season, no one seems to hit more shots in practice than Maddie Potts. She is ultra consistent, and she's got her first points on the campaign. Whistle blows there. It looked like Coach Coburn didn't think that he called the timeout.
No, it's a
They're just trying to clarify something here before they put the ball back in.
It's a conversation about who the last foul was on. Doreste is saying she wasn't anywhere near the play. We'd have to see a replay, but she didn't think that the foul was called on her.
So now they're going to give this another look here. And you're right, Adam, that's exactly what they're looking at. So trying to see who was actually in the area when Potts was fouled. She went 1 for 2 from the line. Potts kind of
that foul is
dove into.
Yeah, that foul's going to be on.
For the correct fouler, be number 13, Black.
So Doreste incorrectly called for a foul there. They switch it and correct it to Foz pretty quickly. 6 seconds to play. Wagner going to try and add on some points in the final few moments. 3 seconds. Up the floor. Here comes Foz to the cup. And a whistle blows with 1/10 of a second on the clock. A foul in the process, so Wagner could add on 2 more. You basically just had to let that shot go up, and probably time expires.
Yeah, you did. You got to be smarter than that. I mean, you do. You can't commit that foul with 1/10 of a second left.
Raneem El-Barki adds on 1 in her trip, and the first half ends. But it is all Syracuse.
For her to be in foul trouble. She had 4 fouls in the Stony Brook game, 4 fouls in the Canisius game. It may not come into play in this game today, but it's certainly going to come into play in the ACC if you can't stay out of foul trouble.
Yeah, going from playing professional basketball in Japan to playing NCAA basketball, certainly what's going to be called maybe a little bit different. She's still adjusting to that in her first couple of games.
And listen, the whistle in FIBA is a little bit looser than the whistle is in the NCAA.
So early on here, Wagner struggling to get the first points of the second half as it did in the first half, and a travel called against Phelia in the far corner. So an early turnover for the Orange. Maggie Robinson caught up with Wagner head coach Terrell Coburn as he came out for the second half.
Guys, I asked Coach Coburn what his message was to the team in the locker room, and he said be confident and be in control, and said it's imperative that they make those open shots.
So they had quite a few of them, and Coburn yesterday said it's just about execution. Like, we need to continue to work hard in practice and get to the point where we can execute on a consistent basis.
And he also told us that non-conference isn't about wins, it's about competing and how well they compete. And other than the shots that they've missed, they've competed pretty well in this game.
Thompson, mid-range jumper is good.
Syracuse, Wagner went zone, and so Syracuse overloaded one side of the court. It shifted the entire defense to that side of the court, and the free throw line jumper was wide open.
Journey Thompson opens the scoring for the Cuse in the second half, about a minute in. Down low, ball blocked away. Velez takes it down the court. Air ball 3 from Burrows. Uche inside. Thompson again. Goes glass, no good. Back to Thompson. She gets a second chance. Front side won't go. Foz brings it back up the court. Burrows on top of it again and just hauls it down the floor. Velez on a straightaway. Can't corral the dribble. Just trying to keep it in play. And a jump ball in the process. A crazy string of play there.
She had her Sam Decker moment. Going down the court, losing control of the ball. It's a tough pass to receive, especially when it's up in the air like that.
Burrows doing anything that she could to just keep that ball in play. A no-look behind the back, kind of haul down court, trying to get Velez wide open to the cup. Doesn't yield 2 for the Orange. Inside pass. Turn away layup falls.
And that was fantastic ball movement by Wagner. Syracuse went with a hard hedge off the screen.
Phelia on a 3 on the other end, fouled! And she got it. And 1 from downtown for Laila Phelia, and a chance for a 4-point play from the line.
I don't know what else you can say about Laila Phelia. She's a fantastic three-point shooter, and Wagner just clipped her legs. That's an easy call, especially if the referee is going to be right there, but a great job of knocking down the shot. Sometimes those corner threes, when you have somebody closing out on you, especially from the side, can be so hard.
Didn't look like it was going to go.
Three-point play for Laila Phelia.
Phelia adds on the extra point. Euro step inside. It's stolen away by Syracuse. Velez ahead. Uche off the glass and in. KJ Foz back up the floor. Azoje doing exactly what she has done so well in the early part of this season. Grabbing a board, getting down the other end of the floor, and scored some points. Wide open on the glass. The Orange continue to dominate. Has been playing some fantastic basketball on one end, picks it away. The pass deep down court from Velez, and she finishes it off at the glass. That is one way to turn defense into offense.
When your 6'3" center runs the floor, you reward her. And that's exactly what they did there, and she gets the easy layup.
And Azoje, a pretty interesting path to playing for the Orange. She's a freshman, but 21 years old. Played professionally in Japan, out of Nigeria, and now here in Central New York. Another loose ball on the floor for what seems like the 100th time today. And it's going to Syracuse.
The ball results in a possession of the Orange.
Well, yesterday, Adam, we were at Wagner shoot-around, and you were talking about how it's not a hard-played basketball game if you don't come away with some court burn. Well, I think both teams are going to have that today.
Listen, if you play a game of basketball and you don't have a floor burn, you didn't play hard enough.
Phelia back into the game. She has certainly played as hard as anyone today. Burrows around a screen, pops a three. It's good. Call it 2, feet just inside the line. Far side swung around to the near. Foz drives with her right hand, swings back out. This one is a 3. No good for Wagner. They grab an offensive board. It's poked loose. Goes between the two sides, thrown off the glass in a panic. Wagner still got it. 19 seconds, the shot clock resets. Set screen, backs off. Fed inside from Foz, and another dead ball. Wagner keeps it this time. It was poked between both teams on the way out. Inbounded very quickly, trying to keep up the pace. El Barkey has it top of the key. Hands off, time running out. 2 seconds to shoot. Off front rim, and Syracuse grabs it easily. Burrows brings it up the floor. Dominique Darius in a bit of foul trouble with 3, back out. She throws one up, and this time she is fouled. So she'll go to the line to try and add on 2. And that pace, Adam, really showing off for Darius. You know, her dad, Dominic Darius, a former SU football player, played some seasons in the NFL as well. So the athleticism clearly runs in the family.
And it's not just the athleticism, but the physical play. She drove that, she drove down the lane physically, like she wanted to get to the basket, and she got there and got the foul.
No fear for her as she drains the first one. Darius averaging just over 15 points a game entering today. Those 2 shots bring her up to 6 for the game. Syracuse right back into that full court press. Trying to continue to create turnovers. Wagner's turned the ball over 16 times today. Good switch. There's 17. Darius runs up the floor. Numbers for the Cuse. And a turnover on the other end. Wagner gets it back, and on the floor was Foz. Darius just went down, put 2 hands on the basketball, and a jump ball. Wagner has the favor of the possession arrow. Inbound off the baseline, bring it back down the court. It's a battle of turnovers. Both teams have turned the ball over double-digit times. In fact, they've combined for 30 turnovers in this game. Far wing 3 is no good. Uche snags the board. Straight ahead for the freshman Cooper. And she's gonna go ahead and shoot 2 after we come back. The Orange setting the pace, another 10-0 run, turning defense to offense, and not making it a very good day for the Seahawks.
Powers them to take the court.
Yeah, Maggie, this morning, Coach Jack, she was certainly coaching Akinbawala hard. Getting on her in one of the drills, just trying to get a little bit more out of her, and that has resulted in her first points of the season today. So that motivation, you know, sometimes it's going to be tough love, but you always hear players rave about what Coach Jack does. And we spoke with her this morning, too, about the connection that she has developed with her players and how she goes about doing that. And the main takeaway is she just cares a lot.
Yeah, she really does. She notices the little things, and she cares about the little things. She wants you to be your best self when you come play for her.
And that is not just on the court, but off the court too. Really about developing these young players as people, equally as much as players. Behind the back move from Darius, Cooper lobs it inside. Uche snags it off the bottom of the backboard, almost got it to go. Hawkins with the follow-up, that won't go. She's got it back, swings out Potts, a 3. No good. Maddie Potts, feet away from her first field goal of the season. Gets another chance, 3 ball on the way, yes!
That's one that you like to see down. It gives you a little bit of confidence, especially after Maddie Potts hasn't knocked down a shot all year.
Turnover for Wagner. Syracuse out on the break. It's knocked free. Cooper corrals it and takes it over the block S. Finds Potts again from way downtown. Rims out. That would have had the dome loud. Probably the loudest that we've heard it all day when she drilled that first one. Syracuse up 40 in this game.
When those, as a guard, when those heat check shots go in, it's awesome. It's something so special.
Up top, fouled on the way through. And Azoje headed to the line. Irene Fernandez de Caella, the guilty party, and went up top.
That's just Uche Azoje being bigger. And that's a lot of what this game has been is Wagner has some size, but Syracuse just has the bigger bodies. That's how they're getting rebounds. They've got a wide rebounding margin. It's 22, it's plus 22 right now. But that's something that they're going to need to take into the rest of the non-conference play and into ACC play is just being bigger and being better down low.
They'll have to continue that intensity as well. 2 seasons ago, Syracuse was 13-5 in the ACC, trying to get back to that. Air ball short, but Wagner collects loose change. Casey slashing inside, 2 seconds to shoot. Floater off the front rim, way short, and it was never Syracuse ball. So, no, they reset the shot clock. It went off. The officials trying to figure it out, looking over at the scorer's table, but they reset it to 20 seconds. Pass inside, swung back out, and a travel second of the game from Doyensola Motaseor.
So the ball went off the iron, but nobody ever had possession of it until the shot clock went off. So when Wagner recovers, the shot clock automatically resets.
Potts had another chance to pop one around a screen. Darius asks for one from the freshman. She tries. Front side, nice rebound corralled from Azoje, but Wagner collects, takes it down the court toward the right basket. Fake pass out, Casey drills it from the baseline. Casey, the redshirt junior, has played an active role tonight in scoring the few points that Wagner's collected. Potts, a near corner three, no good. Azoje skied for the board, but couldn't hang on to it, pinned it against the side of her head. Good defense inside from Cooper, contests the shot. Syracuse grabs the board. Full court pass ahead to Potts, bounces in the paint, finishes off the layup. Dominique Darius with some full court vision. A football-like pass, if you will.
It was a beautiful pass. I think Dominique Darius probably could have played quarterback.
That would maybe be a welcome addition for Syracuse football at the moment. Off the front rim and drifts to the left side. And now the substitution's coming on, and Coach Jack, who used the bench a bunch in the first half, brings on Olivia Schmidt, working her way back from injury onto the court for the first time this season. You see that big brace on her right knee. That's got to feel good for the sophomore who started 3 games last season. The Staten Island, New York native, of course, exactly where Wagner is located. And Schmidt has the ball down the floor. Dishes off Potts, one more pass. Baseline J, rolls off the front rim. Akinbawala trying to collect it as it trickled away. And another steal. Shai Hawkins tips one free. Potts looks ahead for Schmidt. Collects her dribble. Schmidt scored as many as 9 points in ACC play last season, so she can score. Takes the selfless move there with a pass. It's tipped out of bounds, but stays Syracuse ball with less than a minute to play in the third frame. Schmidt, a deep three, cans it! Welcome back, Olivia Schmidt from way downtown. Syracuse dismantling Wagner.
When you're hot, you're hot.
She's excited to be back on the floor and has that three-point shot. She showed it at times last season. Never quite got the consistent playing time as a freshman. Trying to carve out a roll. 3 ball short that time. And the fan support for Olivia Schmidt, overwhelming. This place got loud when she hit that one. And not always huge crowds here at the JMA Wireless Dome early on in the season for Syracuse, but what you do get is tremendous, tremendous fan support. They know what the situation is. That's got to be a good feeling. Gives confidence. Of course, you want as much depth as possible.
Yeah, especially when you get late into ACC play and the legs start to get heavy, when you have players that can come off the bench and you are 15 deep, as Coach Jack likes to play, when you are 15 deep and you can put in a guard when somebody has foul trouble, that's really what's going to be big. That's what's going to carry Syracuse through the middle of ACC play.
And the screen called turnover. Wagner just continues to shoot itself in the foot. Syracuse is going to go to 4-0 on the young season. A better than 40-point lead in this fourth quarter. But challenges coming up. Utah and Michigan on the horizon. Michigan, a top 15 team, just took down Notre Dame earlier this week by a big margin. And Syracuse, not perfect, but has looked pretty good defensively and scoring the basketball at a high clip these last 2 games as well against Canisius and Wagner. Loose ball fought for on the floor, and it's staying with Wagner.
They have scored the ball really well, but when you have a defense as good as Michigan, Hannah Hidalgo is as good as anybody in the country. And Michigan held that Notre Dame team to just 53 points. When you have a defense that good, it's going to be tough to score the ball on anybody.
Deep three-pointer misses wide. Hidalgo 0 for 8 in that game against the Wolverines. Very uncharacteristic. Potts thinks about a 3, steps inside, swings it back out for Nelson, who misses it short. Ball on the floor and another whistle. Seems like every single time there's a ball that hits the floor, we're getting a stoppage in this one. Another foul, this time to the freshman Camden Nelson. Nelson had started all 3 games until today. They gave Jasmine Cooper a run in her first start, so 2 freshmen that are getting involved pretty consistently early. Nelson, the top recruit out of Connecticut in this high school class, though. Big get for the Orange.
And Nelson is a really, really good guard. You're going to see over the next 3 or 4 years in her time in Orange, she's going to grow to be one of the leaders of this team.
Kicks it ahead for Scott. Double team comes. Akimbawala inside. Scott along 2 on the baseline. Comes up short, and a whistle blows before the rebound can be put home. Schmidt going to inbound it from the baseline. Syracuse really just trying to drain the clock out on this one. Allman with the extra pass. Nelson inside, Akimbawala using that 6'5" frame. Bully ball to the top, she got it! And a chance to add on 1 more at the line. First points of the season. She looks like she's been doing it all year long.
They could have called an offensive foul when she swings the elbow, kind of pins the defender, but they didn't. And then Akimbawala goes up through the contact and gets the and 1. That's what you want to see from your big girl.
To that point, Adam, thought that there was maybe a chance that they did call the offensive foul in the moment. Might be going the other way, but
that's an offensive foul you see a lot, especially the reach around and pin. A lot of times guards get that foul.
Well, she takes a charge on the other side, and right after she draws the foul on offense, draws one on defense. Syracuse has the ball back. The Orange really just trying to add insult to injury at this point.
Wagner's in his zone. Syracuse is overloading this far side again, trying to shift the defense away from the near side.
Scott's camped out all by herself. Schmidt pops a corner 3. No good. Another chance from the wing. Got it! Olivia Schmidt in her first game back, getting plenty involved. 70 points for the Orange. Wagner still in the 20s. What a good feeling for Olivia Schmidt, playing against her hometown team.
Wagner substitution, Jada Johnson, number 3, will come in.
Jada Johnson checks in. Deeper on the bench, the junior from Gillette College. Transfer, native of Brampton, Ontario. Nelson races it up the floor, so some fresh legs on for the Seahawks. Trying to at least make the 4th quarter competitive. Kira Scott works off a screen and drills a mid-range J. Going to work at the elbow. Those are the types of shots that are going to get you wins in ACC play.
Yeah, when you knock down that mid-range shot, it's not the most efficient shot in basketball. In fact, we've seen the NBA kind of go away from those mid-range shots. But a lot of times, though, that's what's going to be available. It's going to be driving in, getting a mid-range shot, instead of either taking a three or sometimes the lane's clogged up and you can't get a layup.
Schmidt trying to pick it away. Another miss for the Seahawks. Ball out of bounds. They'll keep it. Still 20 seconds to shoot. Justice Fitzgerald comes back onto the floor for Akimbawala, who gets a rightful round of applause and a high five from Coach Jack. Foul called against Allman, who came off after Foz went around a screen.
Yeah, Allman didn't love that foul call, but when Foz came off the screen, Allman kind of bodied up and went chest into her, and that's going to get the foul called every time.
Johnson gets the inbound, and she throws a pass through the hands of Pondo. On the other end, Scott searching for more. No good. Wagner recollects. Just over half the fourth quarter to play. Syracuse cruising to victory today. Domination really from start to finish over Wagner. Scott with a lane to the basket. She traveled.
Little too excited on the catch, puts that right foot, the left foot down, and then the right foot down. That's something the NCAA's really cracked down on in the last couple years, is making sure you put the ball down on the catch before you get those feet in front of you.
Olivia Schmidt checks out. Another round of applause from the Orange faithful in attendance today. Johnson throws it out to Foz. Three ball straight away, Mapondo, no good. Rebound bounces between both sides. Olivia Schmidt, what a return to the floor for the Orange and getting the rightful support that she deserves. 1-3, and then she hit this one. The bench all about it. Sophie Burrows hyped up.
Welcome back to the Dome, where Syracuse has a dominant lead in the fourth. But Wagner, someone who has been a standout on and off the court for them, is KJ Foz. She is a young leader who Coach Coburn is hoping will lead this team in her later years. She's also a leader in her local community in Toronto, Ontario. She is the CEO and founder of Point Goddess. It is a nonprofit that specializes in empowering young women through sports. And she's hosting a winter camp this winter with WNBA star Cynthia Cooper coming to coach, because she believes if you can see it, you can be it.
Yeah, Maggie, that is pretty cool. And Foz, when she was 17 years old, named as one of the top 100 most influential African-American women in Canada. So whether she's playing basketball in the future or doing something else, you can rest assured she's going to be pretty successful. Already making a huge impact as a very young person.
I don't even think they were thinking about me for the top 50 influential people in my high school at 17.
She's pretty good as well, averaging double digits so far this season. Has struggled a little bit tonight. 4 points on 2 for 8 shooting. She's got the ball here. Drives to the low block, kicks it out for a three, short. Nelson corrals the board and gives it off to Velez. Syracuse one possession away from extending its lead to 50 in this game.
And Maddie Potts wasn't in the game to get that pass then. She'll come in the game now, but yeah, it's just been domination for Syracuse start to finish. Their defense was really, really good in the first quarter, and they've kept that up, honestly. It's been death by defense for Wagner.
Wagner only 25 points. Syracuse had 22 in the first quarter. Potts thought about a catch and shoot. Nelson will. Got it. 50-point lead for the Cuse. And Camden Nelson has got 3 more. Allman touches a rebound out of bounds. Wagner's going to hold on to the ball here. Foz on the inbound. Free player inside. They can't capitalize. Nelson brings it back up the floor. Just notched her first 3 points of the game. Velez pirouettes at the line, dishes off Potts. Nelson, jab step, back to Potts. Dishes off Allman inside. Nelson, a catch and shoot 3. Yes! Back-to-back 3-pointers for the freshman, Camden Nelson.
It was, again, the same thing that's been working against the Wagner zone all day, loading the near side of the court, forcing Wagner to kind of rotate over, and then throwing the cross-court pass or cycling the ball around the perimeter to get the open 3.
And on just 2 shots, Nelson has a season high, and of course, as a freshman, a career high. She had 4 points back against Stony Brook in the opener. Back-to-back 3 balls. Has her with 6. Everyone getting a chance to get involved tonight. Only a couple minutes left. And in the second half, Wagner only a combined 10 points between the third and fourth quarters.
And I think a lot of that is due to the Syracuse bigs. Wagner wants to get the ball inside. They want to drive or they want to go to the post. And Syracuse has kind of formed an iron curtain around the basket. Anytime Wagner tries to drive inside, there's always help side defense. Somebody always comes across, and it's caused a lot of turnovers.
Johnson throws one up with her right hand. No good. Nelson again drives down the floor. Good speed. Stops and travels. Nelson goes from back-to-back 3s to a turnover. Really just playing for exhibition at this point. Allman checks out. All reserves on the floor for the final 2 minutes of this one. Johnson around a pick. Whips it out for Foz, who goes down low with it. It's deflected away. Good defense from Fitzgerald. Wagner keeps the basketball with 1:28 to play.
Great block by Justice Fitzgerald. That's really what you want to see. We know how good Uche is underneath at blocking shots, but when you have other people that can do the same thing, it's just going to build on the defensive momentum.
And Syracuse, just too many chances tonight in transition to get out on the break and use their athleticism. That was one of the key points of emphasis for Coach Coburn when we talked to him yesterday. And Wagner simply did not execute on it.
Yeah, Wagner had to slow the game down. That's how you beat Syracuse, is you slow the game down. You force them to run a little bit of the shot clock, and Wagner couldn't do that today.
A Kimball a la loose elbow. Turns the ball over for the Cuse in the paint. Not much tolerance for that, especially when you have a 50-plus point lead. Less than a minute to play, and the Orange about 50 seconds away from 4-0. A start to the season last year that was a bit tumultuous. A loss to UAlbany that had Coach Jack calling out the fans, asking for the support, and there was a response. Well, early in this season, Syracuse has had the fans behind it, but they don't need any fans in the building with the way that they've been playing, blowing teams out in the first 4 games of the season.
And you can just see the reemergence of Sophie Burrows today. Laila Phelia being so good, Dominique Darius being so good. This could be a really special season for the Orange.
Nelson dribbling out the game clock here. 78-29, all Orange in the Dome on a Sunday afternoon.